Hello, everyone. We're back again. I didn't think I'd be back before the season started, but it's the beginning of February 2026. It's cold out, probably in the low teens here, and it's a little warmer in the garage, but not that much warmer. But I have another accessory that I'm going to install. But before I introduce that accessory, I just wanted to say a couple things about Bad Boy itself. Again, I bought this mower in November of last year, cut the grass once, and then did a bunch of upgrades. I'm about to do another upgrade. But I just wanted to say something about Bad Boy themselves. I've read a lot of on YouTube, on some of the forums, regards to some service, regards to Bad Boy, and in that also Bad Boy themselves. What I can say about Bad Boy is they've been great for me. I'll just go through a couple things and then we'll get to it. First, when I first got the mower, I couldn't lower. See how I had my romps down? I could lower the romps, but I couldn't put the pin in on that side. So I called, their 800 number, and they instructed me on what to do. I loosened the two bolts down there to make the adjustment, got it all tied in, and then screwed, tightened the bolts at the bottom, and then I couldn't pull the pin out. So the solution that we came up with was to widen the holes on the top part, these holes right here on the top part of the romps, which I had no problem doing. I just needed, I just said, hey, I just want some sort of touch-up paint so that I can touch it up, after I widen the hole. They said, no problem. They sent me two different touch-up paints, shown in here, one flat and one gloss in black. So I said, great. Also, I had a problem with the guard right here, with the original chute that was here. There was a problem with the metal piece, I guess, and they sent me a replacement. So, shortly after I decided to get the grass flat, but they did send me the replacement, and I do have that. And then I noticed, sometimes on these sharp edges here, in some areas, that paint had come off. So I had called them back again. I said, hey, look, I'm having this orange paint come off. You sent me the black touch-up paint. Can you send me the orange? So the next order I get, they send me two things of orange here, and they send me two things of spray paint. Didn't ask for all that, but they sent it, and I appreciate it. Also, I reached out to them about, if you've been following me for a little while, I installed the rear rack, and it wasn't fitting properly on the back of the Renegade. I soon found out after talking to their engineering department that it was no longer supported because the intake for this motor or engine or whatever you want to call it has gotten bigger or enlarged or longer, so it just doesn't give enough clearance. A good thing too is so what I did with that is I wound up taking it off and sending it back. I got my money back. I did reach out to the engineer a few weeks later, maybe about a month later, and said, hey, are there any plans for a rear rack for the Renegade? Because, I like how it looked and it could be useful. And he said that they are working on something for the 2027 version, or model year version. So I'll probably reach back out in the summertime and see how that's going and see if they'll send me one. So what else? So with that all said, they've been pretty good to me. One of the things that I noticed right off the back when I went to look at this mower, and the camera may not do it any justice, but I'm kind of leaning in on it. And as soon as I saw the mower, I loved the mower. I had them change the deck. I had a 72-inch deck, which was too big for me, so they swapped it out for a 61-inch deck at Backwood Outdoor Center in Walnutport, PA. Austin was great. He, just great sales, great atmosphere. If I lived closer, because I'm about an hour and a half away, they would definitely be the place that would service my Renegade, and I definitely would look to purchase other things from them. So if you're in the area or not in the area, give him a call. You know, gave me a great price on this, um, so it's just a little plug for them. But the one thing I did notice is they most dealerships that have an abundance of the bad boys that they sell, they don't store them all inside. So this one was stored outside. When I bought this in November, this is a 2024, it's brand new, only had 0.6 hours on it. But it was built in 2023, October 2023. So it's been sitting around somewhere. I'm not saying it was sitting at backwood, but it was sitting somewhere for 2 years. And what I noticed is here, this plate was faded. And I don't know if you can see it through this camera, but it's not the same orange as the rest of the mower. So to me, it's an eyesore. Functionally, it's fine, but it was an eyesore to me. So since I've had such success with Bad Boy and, you know, with their warranty department, I just reached out to him. I said, you know what, let me ask him. This is, to me, a defect. You know, I thought this should have been replaced, but it wasn't. And so I reached out to him a couple weeks ago, and I said, hey, look, you know, this plate is faded, and, you know, can it be replaced? So they said, send me a picture, and we'll see if we can replace it. I said, well, listen, since I have to take this off anyway, you have an upgrade to that. You have sorry about that. You sell the rubber isolated seat plate for this, which is an upgrade. I think it's a little over $300. I said, why don't you send me that instead of the replacement, and I'll just throw that on. I say, I've made a few videos for my Renegade. I haven't seen many Renegade videos out there, installation videos, so I'll do a install video for it. And he said, sure. You know, I was shocked, but he said, sure, I'll send it to you. And sure enough, they sent one. Not only did they send one, when the shipment arrived, there were 2 big boxes. So what they sent was the replacement. So this is the replacement for what I have. It also comes with the latch, which I didn't realize. They sent me 3 labels. These 2 go underneath here, and then this one I already put on, and then they sent me the suspension. So basically this just has the rubber stoppers under here that kind of lets it shake and move and vibrate. I guess it absorbs any of the vibrations from riding. Do I need this? No. Is it overkill for me? Probably. But since I didn't have to pay for it, I'm going to install it, try it out, and, you know, once I do get to cutting the grass, I'll do a review. But yeah, my experience with Bad Boy has been great. The company. I did pick a dealership to work with that's local to me, but I haven't had a chance to. Well, hopefully I don't have to go to them much, but if I have to go to them, then, you know, I will let you know how my experience is. But as far as Bad Boy, the company, you know, and again, I'm new to Bad Boy. I'm new to zero-turn mowers, so they've been great for me. Like I said, every time I've called with legitimate issues, they've answered, and they've exceeded my expectations. So essentially, all we need for this is not too many tools. One thing I will state here is that it seems like it's self-explanatory, but there were no instructions for this that came with it. I'm not saying that's bad or good. I'm just stating the obvious. There were no instructions, but it's just you know, I take the 4 bolts out of the existing seat and I put it on this right here, and then I just, you know, replace this handle here, and then, you know, do the install. There's really only 2 sockets we need: a 1/2 inch, which I have here, and a 10 millimeter. The 10 millimeter is for the little black box that gets mounted on the side underneath. I think that has something to do with emissions. And then the torque. I think the 4 bolts here, and I'll show you how to test it. They're torqued at 50 foot-pounds of torque, so I'll show you how to test that. So I wanted to verify. What I did is I have from the engine here, I downloaded the instructions for the engine, and I can put it in the description of the link. And then on one of the pages, it provides torque specs, average torque specs for different size bolts, metric and SAE. So I went through that and, tried to guess what it was. Started with the lowest torque spec, and then, it happened to be that for the 1/2 inch socket or bolt. I set this at 50 and it was torqued at 50. I think the next one was, 83 or something of the sort. So I will retorque these back to 50. Let me open this up. These I checked. So these don't get torqued. Get over here. These don't get torqued because if you tighten them too much, this won't move. So you just snug them up. I think they have the nylon in them, so they shouldn't back out. This is the black box I was talking about. And I don't think these bottom ones don't get torqued. If they do, I do not know the torque spec. If you do know it, please put it in the comments, and I'll make sure I torque them. So with that said, let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking the seat off. So which is the 4 bolts. Once I get the seat off, then, I have to unplug this first. And then once I get the seat off, then I can work on taking this plate off. So let me take this seat off and then I'll come back. Thank you. So this was here underneath. I just want to remember how it was. So it was on this second hole here. So I just want to remember that. I'm assuming this is something to balance the seat, but I didn't realize this was there. So just something to note. So we got the seat off. Now we're going to proceed to take the plate off. Be right back. Okay, so I'm looking under the seat. I see these bolts here. So these, I guess, when you tighten them, the one at the bottom to this one, it kind of, keeps it from backing out. Plus, I believe the bottom ones are nylon. I guess that one piece, where is it at? Here is more of an adjustment. I guess to square the seat to the plate. So I guess that's why this is here. Maybe. I don't know why, but I'm just going to replace it back the way it was. And that's that. So I don't know if they all come with that. But also what I forgot to do, and I apologize, but I'll talk through it, is I forgot to show you the existing torque. So what I did is I have my torque wrench here. And what I did is I set it to the lowest setting, which was 50 for the 1/2 inch. And I just went and tightened it. And as soon as I went to tighten it, it clicked, meaning that it was torqued to 50. If it didn't click and if it continued to tighten, then that wasn't the torque was actually less than 50, but it was at 50. So if it was tight at 50 and I couldn't tighten it anymore, but it didn't click, then I would have set it to 80. I think 80 was the next level. And then once I would have checked it at 80, if it would have clicked, then it told me that the torque would be at 80. But I was so excited to jump on this, I forgot to show you that. But that's all I had to do. I also checked these aren't torqued. At least they're not torqued to 50. So I'll look and see if they're torqued or not. But I think that torque, actually that torque should be 35. So let me set up my torque wrench and see if that's the case, and then I'll actually show you that. All right, so yeah, this isn't torqued to 35, so it's just continue to tighten. I will proceed to take the black box off and then take these two screws off here and over here, or bolts I should say, and then take this cable off up here, and this assembly should be able to come off, and then I'll be able to disassemble the latch and put it on the other plate, suspension, or the suspension plate, and start putting it back together. All right, be right back. So it took a little while, but I was able to get it off. This is underneath here, so you have to kind of stick my hand underneath here to grab it, and then in between this and the plate is this rubber washer, or no, plastic washer. So as we get able to get the plate off, and as you can see, everything's disassembled. Here's the plate right here. As you can see, like I said, there's fading in the front. You know, what was covered by the seat is not really faded. It's a little dirty here. But, you know, I haven't looked at this footage yet, but if you look at it, it kind of looks like an eyesore. My old mower and this mower is garage kept, so hopefully we shouldn't have that fading. I've already took precautions with this one. I cleaned it up some, and I ceramic coated it, so hopefully that protects it a little better. Like I said, I put this sticker on already, which this one has a sticker. So I have to take this assembly off right here, and latch assembly, and put it on that one. I'm going to leave this latch assembly here. Just in case I don't like this, I just have to put this on. So that. Also, Bad Boy is going to send me a new VIN sticker. The hydro gear stickers, they weren't able to provide, but he said the serial number for the hydro gear is actually on the devices underneath. So I'm going to keep this regardless of what happens. I'm going to keep this one because it has the stickers, or take a picture of it. So I have that information. So let me just transfer this over to the new one, and then I'll reassemble it here. I'll do a little cleaning while I have it all open. Clean this canister off and a couple other things, and then I'll be right back. So one thing to note here when reassembling, make sure it's on the right way. And these two bolts, they're two different sizes, right? One is longer than the other. The long one goes on this side. This is the one that has the cable that that's attached to it. So make sure you put the long one on this side, short one on this side, and you know the plastic washers are the same, and then you have the spring. So let's assemble this. So with these two bolts, you're not gonna make them too snug. You make them too snug, and this latch won't move. Where's my other bolt at? And this one goes here. I'll just put that here as a placeholder so I don't lose it, and a reminder so when I attach it back to the mower, I know to put the cable there. So this is pretty much done here. All I have to do now is take this whole piece, take it back over here, this might be a fight for me, but align it, get these bolts into it, and then tighten them up. Again, these don't get tightened all the way tight because it won't move, but snug, to allow that nylon or plastic washer to move and serve its purpose. So let me bring it over here and be right back. Okay, so this plate is on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, so far everything was pretty simple to do except for getting these back fed in. I had to go up under here and align it. It took me about 20 minutes, but I got them in. Again, you don't tighten them all the way, you tighten them snug. I reattached this, tighten it snug, put back the canister, cleaned it a little bit, but not that tough. It's just realigning these two bolts down here. You have to take your time and maneuver a little bit. I did scratch it a little bit right here. I put some touch-up paint, but I guess that's what happens when you're doing this by yourself and it's your first time. So but now we're at the stretch. We put this seat back on, and we put the little plate. So I have the seat right here, and where's the little plate at? This little plate. Put this on the left side, and spot number 2. You can see the little indent anyway from that. So I'll put that underneath the seat when I place it. So let me do that. Once I set the seat down, then I have to rethread the screws underneath, tighten them up, and then the hard part, I guess, is torquing them. I bought, let's see here, this from Harbor Freight. So see if I can get that in there if I have enough space to torque them at 50 with my torque wrench. If not, I ordered a 3/8 inch torque wrench. Should be here tomorrow. So instead of this big one I have, I don't think it'll still fit up under here, but maybe a little easier to work with. So let me put the seat on, and then I'll be right back. Okay, another successful install. Difficulty level medium, I would say, just because the seat is heavy. The only hard part was putting this section back together. Everything else was straightforward. The only thing I see here, again, like this is heavier. So I'll double check. I'm assuming, but I'll double check with Bad Boy that this is okay for the extra weight, because it seems heavier. But I'm assuming so. The only other thing here is, and I didn't change it yet, this connector, the sensor for the seat, the weight sensor, it's attached to this big wire here going across, and it's connected under here. I don't know if I can get this camera in there. So there's a notch right here. I'm gonna cut that zip tie, put another zip tie there, and then take this loose here and put a zip tie here so I can get extra footage. Because see, if I go here and here like this, it's just tight. It's gonna be tight, and I don't want to rip anything or break anything. So I think that's the way to go for it. But the only difference I see is it's just more wiggly. So like the seat is like more wiggly. I don't know if I'm gonna like that or not like it, but that's the biggest difference. Like I said, it's heavier. I was unable to torque the these bolts because my torque wrench was too big on the adapter I have. So I did order another torque wrench, a smaller one. So if it fits this crow's foot, I think they call it, fits this on that torque wrench, then I should be able to torque these to 50 foot-pounds. But I did tighten them really tight, so they might be more than 50 foot-pounds, but we'll see. What else? I think that's it. So let me go ahead and rearrange that, and then I'll come back and then show the finished product. Okay, so moving the this cable to this slot right here. I think they anticipated that. I put a zip tie there. I re-zip tie the other cable for the brake. So I zip tied that back, put a new zip tie, zip tied that. Now I have some room, some wiggle room here to flex. Before it was tight, there was no room for that. So I'll cut those off. I'll also make something for the squeaks as well. Another thing that I didn't mention is this is going to raise it some, maybe an inch or two. I don't, maybe about an inch. So it raises it. I sat on it. I guess it takes some getting used to because, like I said, it's like a bobblehead type seat. So, but we'll see how it feels when I cut the grass and how I go over bumps. So I still have these two here. This is the original. Cleaned it up some. Like I said, it has some of the stickers on it. I still have to install these two stickers. I don't know if I want to do that now or wait. Maybe I'll do it now. And I appreciate them for sending me the replacement. So this I'll put back in the box. I'll put them both in the same box and store them for now. Again, see if I how I like this new edition. You know, I haven't heard any bad things about it. I heard that there are some other ones that people have been getting from Amazon, but again, I've only cut the grass once, so I have no feedback, no data, no nothing. But again, thank you, Bad Boy, for sending this out. I think this is one of the first installs for it. I haven't seen any. Also, if you notice, it's a little oranger. now my mower is the paint looks duller than the actual new piece, and that could be because I put a ceramic coating on it, but it's closer than the old one, which was faded, so I'm okay with this. So yeah, so I'll put those decals on, and like I said, tomorrow I'll if I'm able to torque it, I will add that to the video. If you find this content helpful, please like, subscribe if you want to see future content. Please comment. I've been getting a few comments. I like the comments. I'm not a professional like this. This is my first zero turn. I'm just handy, and I like working and getting my mower prepared for the upcoming season. I have some other videos out there, so I'll do a recap. My first one was the grass flap, which is here. I did that. The second one was a combo. I did the romp lights, which is right here, and I did the tank lights, which is right here. The third video, which I talked about a little bit, was the rear rack. I had to take it off. It was rubbing on this air filter, and Bad Boy said it was no longer supported. But the good news is they are working on one for the 2027 model year. So hopefully it's backwards compatible, and hopefully I can get them to send me one, and I can redo the video for that. My next, what was the next? Oh, after that was the twills. We have the twills here. So I installed those, and then also I revamped this romp lights. I kind of ran the wire inside the romp, so there's a little hole underneath here. I don't know if you can see it, but I put a hole there and ran the wire through, so there's a video on that. So, and this is my most recent video. I will not say that that this is the last one for the winter, because I said that the last time and here I am again, so you never know what happens. So thank you. Okay, stickers are replaced. Thanks again, Bad Boy, for also replacing the stickers. I'm still waiting for the one with the VIN. They had to print that one out, and then I won't have the Hydro gear stickers, which is fine. I'm going to keep I'm going to take a picture of the old one, which I already have, I believe, and I'm going to keep that for now. So we're done. Thank you very much. Again, like and subscribe, and please comment if you have any questions or whatever you want to say in the comments. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so a couple things here. I was able to get rid of the squeak, and I'll show you that. This is my new torque wrench. So a lot of my tools are either Harbor Freight, Icon, or Tekton. I like Tekton a lot. I tried this yesterday, or actually today. It didn't work. It started to strip the screw. So I went back and bought this. This is called a, what is it called? A flare nut. Fits on, but it also started to strip the screw. This is the my new torque wrench. So I'm just gonna have to keep an eye on it. The bolts are tight, so just gotta keep an eye on it. So what I did, see, you don't hear this thing is really heavy. You don't hear the squeaks anymore. What I had to do was I tightened those bolts on both sides. Down there, I tightened them really tight, and so it doesn't squeak anymore. So again, I don't know what the torque spec should be for those bolts. I'll do some more research, but as of right now, there's no squeaks. The seat is safe. Another thing I could say about this seat too is it's more comfortable per se. When I got on it last night to move it, I like the height, 6'2", so it gives me a little bit more leg room. Before it felt like when I stepped on this deck and sat down, I was sitting down into like a low chair. So now it seems better. So that's one positive about this upgrade. Again, I've yet to use it to cut grass, so we'll see. But I just want to get this one segment in because wanted to see if I could torque that. I mean, I guess if I wanted to, I really don't want to do that, but I can take this apart, you know, disassemble it, but then I don't want this stuff to be out of torque spec, so you know, it is what it is. All right.